All right, folks, welcome aboard. It's Friday, thank goodness, right? And we have a big show in store for you. Ari Fleischer joins us momentarily. But, of course, the big news today breaking. The president made a surprise visit to Capitol Hill today to lobby Democrats to vote for his trade bill. And guess what? He didn't get the votes he needed in the House. It was defeated 302 to 126. My problem and my question is with the Republicans and why they voted the way they did, which was en masse for this trade bill, giving all kinds of powers to the president in a bill that we haven't seen. And Paul Ryan reportedly pulled a Nancy Pelosi and said, we got to pass it, and then you'll see what's in it. Are you kidding me? Let's go straight to Ari Fleischer. Joining us now is Ari Fleischer, former, of course, White House spokesman for President George W. Bush, president of Fleischer Sports. Check out FleischerSports.com. Hello, Ari.
Great to be with you, Steve.
Always good to talk to you. All right, so why? Maybe I know Boehner is a Chamber of Commerce guy. I understand that. But what is with the Republican leadership and a majority of Republicans that want to give Obama, a man they have repeatedly said has broken the law, abused his power, it has gone against the Constitution, why do they want to help him pass a trade deal that is secret? And what we do know about it is as frightening as heck.
Well, first of all, this is the authority for him to negotiate a trade deal, and then after he negotiates it, Congress gets an up or down vote on the entire thing. And that historically has been the way it's been done. The problem President Obama has is members of his own party don't want free trade, and many Republicans don't trust him. Those two combinations came today to sink the bill.
Yeah, I mean, we see all kinds of reports. Then I don't understand. I mean, if that's all it is, then if nothing's been negotiated, if this is really just for the power for him to negotiate, then why are we hearing about, why do the Democrats say, oh, workers won't be protected? Why do some say it takes away limitations on immigration from Pakistan and all kinds of other things? And why has the bill, quote unquote, been kept secret?
Well, what they wanted to do was put riders in the bill tying the hands of the administration saying any agreement must include the following or must preclude the following. And that's congressional infringement on the executive branch's prerogatives. It's been done before, but it really does come down to a fundamental question of trust. And I regret this. I'm a free trader, and I wish that we could be in an era where free trade again would prevail and advance while also protecting workers' rights. And I think you can do that. And it was an interesting combination because you really had Republican leadership working with President Obama, and then the president's own party, for the most part, really rejected his ideas.
All right, I want you to hear a bunch of statements by the president.
Let me
go ahead.
This is really important.
Yeah.
Where was Hillary? Hillary Clinton took no position. This was clearly an issue that split the party, and Hillary chickened out. And it's a pattern where she votes and does whatever is most convenient at any given time. She was for the Iraq War when that was popular. She was against the surge when the Iraq War was unpopular. She stood on a stage with Elizabeth Warren and said corporations don't create jobs. And now she took no position. Where was Hillary?
Yeah, very, very good question. Of course, she gets a pass from the media. Which let's segue into this then. What do you make of the New York Times going after Marco Rubio on things as ridiculous as tickets for moving vehicle violations, of which he had 3 in like 15 years, the rest were his wives, and the boat, which about an $80,000 boat from people I've talked to isn't a big boat at all. I mean, if he was a millionaire or a billionaire, they'd trash him like they did Romney. Here he's got financial, problems of sorts, and they trash him. Why do they put him on the front page twice? Are they that scared of him?
Yeah, I'll only make 2 points on this. One, on the issue of the driving record, that was a story that went after his wife, but they couldn't go after his wife, so they folded him into it. What lousy journalism.
Why couldn't they go after his wife? You mean ethically?
Well, because who cares if a presidential candidate's wife has a bunch of traffic tickets?
Right.
That's not a criteria to be first lady. And so they had to do is fold her into the Rubio ticket story, which is 4 tickets over 17 years, in order to have something to write about Rubio.
Right.
And that's just lousy journalism. The financial story, though, I do think it is the responsibility of major papers to write stories exposing people's financial backgrounds and records so people can have an understanding of what they are. Calling his fishing boat, even at $80,000, a luxury speedboat was part of the nonsense of how sometimes you can go too far. But I do support the basic idea of the press writing stories about people's financial backgrounds. I think it can expose things and at least protect against corruption at some levels. And I have to hope that they do it to everybody. They certainly are getting tough on Clinton on the foundation on money.
Right.
The New York Times broke a lot of those stories. So I'm fine with one of those stories. The other I thought was nonsense.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to, let's skip to the second soundbite, the second video. As you know, the White House press briefing room was evacuated a couple of days ago. So was the part of the White House lawn, and so was a hearing at the Senate. And when they returned, it was revealed that all the cameras that are the property of the various news companies were shut off and, as one reporter put it, tampered with, which I guess they have a right to do. You could explain maybe why they might have done that. But number two, it turned out the president wasn't evacuated. Josh Earnest wasn't evacuated. Let's listen to this.
Josh, was President Obama or his family in any way impacted or evacuated?
They were not. This is the only room in the White House complex that was evacuated.
So you were evacuated as well, though. So it wasn't exclusively this room. Who beyond this room, or how far outside of this room, did the evacuation go into?
Peter, when I said that I was evacuated, I left the room at the same time that all of you did.
So you stayed in the White House, so it was safe to be in the room adjacent to here, but physically not.
I was not in the room adjacent to here, Peter. I went back into my.
He went back into his office. The point being, he stayed in the White House, the president stayed in the White House, his family stayed in the White House, but the reporters were taken way, way, way away to another building. And explain to me how that works.
Well, first of all, the White House staff doesn't make those decisions. The Secret Service makes those decisions about who can be where when something like this happens. But it sure does seem odd. And I think you've got to go to the Secret Service for the right answers. If they get a bomb threat, they don't know how big the bomb is. They don't know anything about the nature of the bomb. And so you've got to wonder why they would evacuate just the press and none of those very thin walls on the other side. One leads right to the Rose Garden on the other side of the press briefing room. As you sit in those chairs and the podiums in front of you, the Rose Garden's right off of your left, and the Oval Office isn't too far beyond that. So it doesn't make sense to me, but I have a lot of respect still for the Secret Service and their judgment, but those are the questions that they'd have to answer.
Yeah, very, very weird. All right, forget ISIS right now. It's Friday. Let's talk a little sports. Is Cleveland done?
No, I would never say anybody's done it. It's the finals, and people can get their game up. They sure did get a whooping last night.
Yeah, they sure did. And my gosh, I haven't seen the video because I have no interest in seeing it. But I guess, I know there's a delay because you could, when they get close to players sometimes, ABC, you can hear like a dead sound and they're bleeping it out. So I guess it's a couple of second delay or whatever. I guess there's no video delay to go with that audio delay. Otherwise, somebody should have hit the button when apparently they caught LeBron James pulling down his shorts. I mean, my God, how the heck did that happen?
When I media train athletes, I have a lot of bloopers in my reel. That
not that one, right?
He's not the first guy to pull down his shorts.
Oh, boy. All right, but now let's talk about something you and I don't know if you've been to the Yankee game that you were going to go to or whatever, and you said you wouldn't applaud. A-Rod. The Yankees are winning again. They had a big losing streak. Now they have a big winning streak, although they lost the other day. And A-Rod started off like a house of fire. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's doing better than anybody expected. And the fans love him. I'm of the opinion that if he slows down and they start losing, they'll hate him.
But here's the thing about sports. People just want to win. And ethical issues, honesty, things like that are sort of secondary or tertiary in a sports world where people just want to win. I just can't bring myself to that. I just don't. I'll go on Wednesday. I'm going to the first Yankee game I'll go this year. My son's 9th birthday, and I'm taking him.
Great.
And we're going to watch the game, and I'm just not going to. If A-Rod hits a home run, I'll just sit in my seat. I'll be happy to see the runs go on the board, but I won't clap.
Yeah, and of course all these milestones passing, he's like the all-time RBI leader or number 2 and home runs, he's moving up, and none of it is celebrated, right?
But what a lesson for kids here, isn't it?
Yep.
That he's breaking all these world-famous records and not getting any acclaim for it. And it really should teach kids, and I hope coaches teach this.
Don't cheat, right? Don't cheat.
Play the game the right way.
Yep.
Play it the right way, you'll be a Derek Jeter, and people will adore you. Play it the wrong way, you'll be an A-Rod, and you could be great, and nobody's going to really herald you.
Ari, happy birthday to your son. Thanks for joining us. We'll speak to you soon. Rafi Williams of the RNC is next.